Talking about what we talking about. I can do this all day. What we talking about? What we talking about? What we talking about? I ain't feeling what you saying. What we talking about? From time to time, every set of brothers argue. You gotta listen in to catch a glimpse here from our views. I finish every debate that I'm in. Gonna start it up. Same time tomorrow, we run it again. Ain't no stopping us. What we talking about? What we talking about? I can do this all day. What we talking about? What we talking about? What we talking about? I ain't feeling what you saying. What we talking about?
Man, we're back for another episode of the Arkin Brothers podcast. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do with our missing piece right quick. Can somebody go on mute for a second? We go right there. There we go. All right, man. So let's dive into it. But we ain't gonna wait for everybody. We ain't gonna wait. We're gonna keep moving on. We're gonna get it going. And we're down. We down one member. He can't figure out how to get to an invite. That's normally everybody knows how to get on it. So I can't even comment on that one. I'm just gonna kind of keep moving forward and yeah, man. We just gotta do what we do, man. Do what we normally do. We're only three people. One man down, one man short anyway. So it's nothing different than today. Ray, man, how you doing today, bro?
Man, I'm good, bro. A little under the weather. Boy, it's cold outside, dog.
It's a little. I don't know if it's cold, but it is chilly, right? It is chilly. I mean, it didn't snow. That was the craziest part that I saw this morning. Was I was expecting to see snow. I had went to Costco's, got me some itemized salt, so I put it on the ground already. So I pre-baked my front porch and the walkway just for wake up to see nothing.
That boy talking like a homeowner.
Like just to see nothing, man. I walked outside, saw absolutely nothing. I was like, man, I can't believe it did not snow. I was upset.
Yeah, they had to roll everything. I saw the trucks out last night when me and Miles was coming back from his little spring ball, workout, and they had trucks ready. But when I woke up this morning, I'm like, man, they ain't do nothing. Like everybody went and bought groceries and all this stuff, thinking they gonna be in all day. And then you wake up this morning like, man, there's nothing out here. But it is chilly out though.
I went and got groceries. I went and bought a shovel because I don't own one. Just for it not to snow, man. I was upset. I had to drive. I was already out there to Bowie, the shovel, and ain't nothing there available. Like I went all the way out there from DC to Bowie, finally got a shovel, and didn't get to use it. I think
it might be done too. I hopefully that was the last little threat or whatever. Time for that springtime, but who knows?
Yeah, it may be done, bro. It may be done for the rest of this year.
Hope so.
I hope so too. All right, man. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. We just saw what we saw last week. A very decent Super Bowl. Two very good teams playing against each other. Went down to the last second touchdown. Kansas City is now the new Super Bowl champs. Let's talk about it, man. Like, D, start us out. What were your thoughts on that game?
I think for me personally, that was football to me. Two great defenses going back and forth, stopping two great offense. Well, one great offense and an offense that's been, I think, mediocre throughout the whole season, and the defense was carrying them all season. And I just think both teams came to say, look, we're going to stop your offense from putting up points. And I think both defensive coordinators need a hand clap because their defense was ready. Their defense was ready. San Francisco, in the past couple of times that they've played Kansas City, they have discombobulated, Patty for the first three quarters. Like they forced him in certain things that he normally don't do. They came to play. They made him, they just couldn't move the ball. And I think you got to give Steve Wilks a lot of credit. And on Spag's side, he's been doing this all season. He's been carrying the team. They really, Kansas City went from averaging 28, 30 points a game down to 17 to 20 points a game. And so that's how they've been playing all year. And I think he really did a great job of looking at what he had to deal with the San Francisco 49ers. Because on paper, Frisco had the better team, especially from an offense standpoint. They had the receivers. They had the running back. Purdy didn't really turn the ball over outside of the game against Baltimore this year. And he had another game when they played Minnesota. He turned the ball over a couple of times. But for the most part, their offense has been pretty good. And I think it just came down to coaching. It just came down to coaching mistakes that I think San Francisco made that really like put them in this position to lose the game. So overall, I think it was a great Super Bowl. I think at the end of the day, Patty and that and Spagnuolo and Andy Reid did what they had to do to pull it out.
Yeah, man, for me, it was a tale of two halves. Great game plan defensively from San Francisco and Wilks. You know, they were bracketing, Kelsey. Patty couldn't really get off. Pacheco, he wasn't really doing much. And for San Francisco, they left a lot of points on the board, right? You know, the fumble, they got a couple times in great field position. They didn't do anything with it. And then the second half, it was just total opposite, man. It's like when Shanahan has something going, he seems like he's trying to go left, dog. CMC was rolling. Like he was, he wasn't breaking like 12, 13, 14-yard runs, but the 5, 6 yards, 3 or 4 yards. He come out in the second half, bro. He threw like 8 or 9 straight passes. I'm like, bro, Purdy's not that guy. You're trying to make him into something that he's not. And I think that's when the game got away. And I think for whatever, kudos to Kansas City too for making some changes, getting Kelsey now open. Because Kelsey had like 92, 93 yards or something in the second half. So they did a great job of making him sure he was getting free. But then I blame San Francisco D. Like, how many times you going to put Fred one on him one-on-one? Like, Kelsey is too talented to be stopped by any linebacker one-on-one. Like, keep the same game plan until Kelsey shows that he can beat a double team or a bracket. You know what I'm saying? So it was a tale of two halves, man. And shout out to Kansas City for pulling it off, forcing overtime. And, it was a great game, man. The second half for me, tale of two halves.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think the same thing. I was real, I didn't care for the Super Bowl that much, but I did watch the game thinking that, what we're going to see here. And you hit it right there, right? Where it was two different. It seemed like when Kansas City went to their second and third game plan in the second half, it just seemed like they knew how to pull that win out. When they must notice that San Francisco was hitting the edges really hard with Bosa. So they started forcing him to have to pick whether he's going to slam down hard or he's going to allow Mahomes to get out there on the edge, or is he going to continuously keep coming at Mahomes to keep him from getting that path line? And he kept choosing slam down, and it was a bad decision every single time. And then when they had that 4th and 2, he slammed down in. Mahomes ran for first down. It was those type of things that kept them from winning that particular game because of those issues. Man, it's something to say about a team like San Francisco where, you have a head coach that continuously keep getting leads. He builds up a lot of momentum and get these type of leads, man, and then he falls flat on his face. It just, it is a part of the one part is of his strategy. Another part is sometimes I think he don't go for it when he should. I thought the same thing about Dan Campbell when he didn't go for it on that at the end of the half. I thought it was one time when San Francisco it was 3rd and 4. They should have ran the ball. They tried to put the ball in Purdy's hands. I would have ran it because I'm going for it on 4th down. You got to win the game. That's the key here. You have to win the game. It's not about winning and what's the name? It's about winning and losing. You got to win that game. This is it. This is the time. You got to seize it. When he didn't go for it, I was totally lost by that play. Like, why would you not go for it on a run play, put the ball in C-Mac's hands, and then go for it? If you don't get it, go for it on 4th down. Yep. You got the best left tackle in the game. Why not go that way? Run that ball that way. If you just get 2 yards, it's 4th and 2, 4th and 1. Go get the first down, man, because you need to keep moving the clock to keep Patty out the field, and 2, you need to go ahead and score to put the stamp on this game. I just feel like there's times where he did not go after it the way he should have. Like, he allowed Kansas City to stay in that game, man. And for the most part, it ended. It ended for him. And I mean, it just didn't. That's why they lost. You always got like the Mahomes and Andy Reid and the rest of their team greatness, but sometimes you lose more games than you win them.
Mm-hmm.
He lost that game by not going for it, not being aggressive. When I think that's the time when you be aggressive. Super Bowl is when you be aggressive.
And what's crazy is, to speak to that point, to add on, he went for it the first half, and they had a 3rd and 2, and he went and he threw the little out route to get the first touchdown. In the second half, he went for it on 4th down. It was like 4th and 1. and he went for it and they got the first down. So, like you said, he went away from what he was doing because he got too comfortable with the defense. And we're patting him. You have to score. You can't just not have good field position all night and keep doing the same thing over and over again. Like you said, eventually, if you make one mistake, you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. I just felt like they could have, because defense was holding up. Even the fumble wasn't a fumble because they forced him to punt. You know what I mean? It was a bad play, but they still kept him out the end zone. Right? I just feel like he should have stayed aggressive. He just wasn't being aggressive. He had him in the fourth quarter. The momentum was on Kansas City side. I'm going for it. I'm running the ball with CMC and saying, okay, we're going to stay on the field. We're going to put this team away right here. Because if they'd have got that first down, they could have ran the clock out and kicked the field goal. They literally had, like, I think it was like 3 minutes, 2 minutes left. They could have said, all right, we now going to just run this clock out and we're going to kick the field goal because, Kansas City, I think it had a couple of timeouts. They wouldn't have had enough. They could have ran the clock out and then kicked the field goal and won the game. I just didn't understand the strategy of that. Like, I would have went after it. It's the time to go after it. That's the time. This is the moment to go after it, man. We got our guy up in the building, Keon. He's sitting there looking a little lost down there. Like, what you thinking about, Keon? You got your mind. You got to look like you got a lot on your mind.
You're on mute, bro. You're on mute,
You're on mute, man.
I don't understand why my attachment ain't coming through my email. It's saying like it's like he trying to save me from being, spy mail or whatever, man. So I'm on my phone trying to figure that out.
But Lord have mercy, bro. How about get out of Hotmail, bro?
We're just talking about the recap of the game, bro.
I want to flood my with shit.
We just recapping the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Just get your thoughts on it before we roll out to the next topic.
Yeah, it definitely was started off real boring, real slow. 49ers dominated the whole game. I mean, say the first half and was only up by what?
10-0. 10-3.
10 points, 7. Then in the second half, guy said he got away from running the ball. They stopped using McCaffrey. I think he only ran the ball like 3 times in the third quarter. That was the longest third quarter ever seen. So that didn't take no time off. And then once you can see the momentum shifting, especially once when the ball hit the dude back of his leg and dude tried to get it, and then they got the fumble. And when they scored right there, I said it was over. I think sometimes Shanahan get in his own way, man. I don't know. He just got to live with passing the ball. He just got to show his genius all the time. Sometimes you just got to do the political correct thing is stick to what is working. You know what I'm saying? When McCaffrey did run the ball, he was getting 4 yards a pop, 5 yards a pop. Sometimes you're not going to get it, but you got to continue to stick to it. So I thought that really lost the game for him. And it's another L on his back again where he came up short in a big game due to his coaching. So if I had to put it on the blame on anybody, it goes on him. What he did in the second half, the offense plays he was calling, just, you can't keep getting the Chiefs and leaving your defense on. And you was going 3 and out every play in the third quarter. 3 passes. Wasn't no run plays, no nothing. Just 3 passes, 3 and out for then the whole third quarter. And I thought the defense wore down a little bit after that. So, and then another thing, the linebacker got hurt. You saw Kelsey start getting off. That was a big blow too, because Kelsey, they had him on lock before the linebacker got hurt. Once the linebacker got hurt, he got the going. And after that was game to me.
Yeah, Greenlaw played a big part of that. Because like you said, they had him under wraps. Yep. And then when Greenlaw went out, he tore his Achilles. He went to the bench and they put number 48 in. He was lost.
Yep.
He was lost. But like you said, like JD said earlier, you threw the ball 8 straight times and only ran the ball 1 time. 1 time out of 9 plays, you ran the ball 1 time. And I think a lot of those plays, Purdy didn't trust his eyes because the check down was open all night. And a couple of times, Christian McCaffrey was open on the flare out. Nobody was guarding him. So like you said, I just think Shanahan gets in his own way and doesn't keep it simple when he's up. You've been winning that way all year, giving the ball to Christian McCaffrey, making the little dump down plays, moving the ball down the field, and you known for a gambler to be a gambler, but you, like you said, you didn't go for it.
Well, man, it doesn't. You can't have Debo break 8 tackles on 2-yard routes, man. Purdy ain't gonna do much of anything else. I mean, that's the problem that I always have with Purdy is he needed a gigantic effort from the receiving core to really show how special he could be. I mean, yeah, he was hitting wide open receivers, but when you have those tight throws and throws that you need to make, when throws where guys were batting the ball down or getting in his way or knocking his arm down, he couldn't make those throws consistency. So as you see that after a couple of series of seeing that in the third quarter, why not go back to the run game, focus more on the run game? Your defense is holding up. They're holding shell. I mean, at the end of the day, you gave up that touchdown when it came down to the muff punt. But after that, I mean, okay, cool. All right, it's now 10-10. It's a new game right now. You're both tied up. It's 10-10. You got to keep playing through that, and your defense was still doing what it's supposed to be doing. It just wasn't. I mean, it's sort of like a fumble on fumble or turnover on turnover because they turned the ball over in the first quarter when they picked off Patty Mahomes. So it's just got to be one of those things where it just it's a flow of the game. It happens. Continually keep going. But I just don't like the way he coaches fourth quarters when he don't stick to the game. It's like he's trying his. Somebody tried to say somebody just said this. He's trying to show his genius. Bro, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing what you're doing? Like, it was mind puzzling to me that he did not go for it when it was 3rd and 4. He didn't, and he went. I don't know if he kicked a field goal or whatever else. I think he did kick the field goal. When it was 3rd and 4, though, I would have just been like, yo, I'm about to put y'all away right here. I can run the clock out. Like, what am I wasting time for? I'm about to run the clock out, man. So I'm putting all the pressure on their defense to have to make the right call. Every single time. You want to blitz? Okay, we're gonna come back. You know Spags gonna blitz.
Yep.
Every play that you know that he was gonna that it's gonna be a play where he has to get a stop. He's gonna put pressure on the quarterback. There's been time where I'm like, all right, well, you blitz. I'm about to get this to this back. Unless you put a run stop blitz, I'm about to get this to this back, and I'm about to eat your lot over. Run those slip screens with Debo at that point. They
never got the ball to Kittles either. That one pass.
Kittles, or run as what's the weather guy? Azuka. Run Ayuk. Yeah, whatever his name is, man. Running to him. Like, I mean, that would have been running slip screen at that point. Brandon James was killing. Give it to him.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. It just now we have to watch that. I mean, I hate to hear about the victims that happened at the parade, man. But now we have to watch Kelsey drunk all again. Like doing the most drunk, man. So it was just a ridiculous thing, man. So a question was posed about who's to blame, but let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Steve Wilks being fired initially a couple of days after the Super Bowl. You know, that's our fair and foul question for today. Like, let's talk about that. Like, Key, man, when you heard that they fired Steve Wilks, what was your thoughts?
I was like, what? Wait, what? Somebody got to take the blame, and he's the one that took the blame, but definitely shouldn't have been fired. I guess when they called him in the office, he probably thought he was coming in to get a raise. But I'm fired? What? Like, is this somebody I've been punked? Like, no way that guy should have been fired, man. He had that defense coming all year. You know, they was a little short in the other way if they weren't healthy, but he wasn't the reason they lost the Super Bowl. So to see that he was fired, I ain't understand it. Hopefully he get a job soon, but you know, when things happen, somebody got to take the blame. They wasn't gonna blame Shanahan, so I guess he was the next guy, the fall guy, to take the blame. But I don't understand how you watch that Super Bowl and say that he was the real reason they lost. You know, because they had, like we said, the first half, they had the game plan bottled up where 49ers should have went in the halftime at least up by 17 points easily. So, but yeah, I was shocked when he got fired. And I think someone will hire him as a defensive coordinator, but it's a tough business.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's mind-boggling because one, the offensive coach, which is Shanahan, who's the head coach, you didn't do nothing on offense. when you had great field position all night. So to fire this guy, okay, now who you bring in somebody next year? Let's say you get back and the same thing happens. Who you gonna fire him as well? You know what I'm saying? The man did everything that he signed that contract with the 49ers, and he did what he was supposed to do. You know, his team, his defense this year was better than my man who went to the Jets and my man who went to the Texans. His defense was even better. They put up better numbers. And, you know, they did tail off at the back end of the season because, you know, look, injuries or whatever. But all in all, it wasn't nothing else Steve Wilks could do. It wasn't nothing else he could do. Because for real, he only gave up a touchdown where they really drove the ball down the field. The muff punt, I mean, they scored on the next play. I mean, you got, as a defense, you're supposed to stop them. But they was on the field all night. So, you know, this man only gave up one touchdown. He gave up a whole bunch of, he forced them into a whole bunch of field goals. And I'm not talking about field goals that was 20, 30 yards. He forced them to field goal where my man had to make two field goals, one 57? One look 50, 52, 56. So I'm just saying he did his job. And I think John Lynch and that organization, before they fired that man, and he's a Super Bowl champion. So he know what it takes. He played defense. So he knows what it takes to win. I think before firing him, they should have really looked at the situation before they fired him. And I think this was an emotional issue because they don't want to blame Shanahan. But guess what? You're the head coach. You're the head coach. You're the one, your offense, who was supposed to be a great offense, didn't do their job. So, but I do hope he found another job. And this right here is no different when he was coaching at Arizona. You didn't give him nothing to work with, and you fired a man from there, and then bring in Kingsbury. So I just think Steve Wilks, you know, it's a bad look for me for San Francisco to fire this man after he did what he had to do to put them in great position to win the game.
Yeah, it's definitely foul. But I think it was more than just a Super Bowl loss. I think he probably been fired if they're the one. I think, you know, they went through a stretch in the season where they wasn't playing great football from a defensive standpoint. He was sitting in the booth. They got him to come down. They started playing better. But I just think, you know, Shanahan just felt, you know, it just wasn't a good fit, like he said. Not mean he should be fired because the numbers speak for itself. Like he said, he had a better overall points per game average than D'Amico Ryans. But I think they're the one they still would have fired him. I just don't think, you know, they was as good defensively as they was in the past. Their secondary is not as good. Bosa didn't have a great year. They traded for Chase. Chase gave him nothing. Armstead, you know, number 91, he didn't really do too much in the interior. So the strength of their team really was their linebacking core. And they just really underperformed, but it's just bigger than the numbers. But I think if they don't win the Super Bowl, he still would have been fired. But it's definitely foul, though. I think he still should have kept his job.
Oh, sorry. You think they would want he would still have been fired?
Yeah,
even a win?
I think so.
After only giving up 19 points?
Yeah, I just, like I said, even though Shanahan said it wasn't a fit, I think it's bigger than the Super Bowl. Whether you could take what he said with a grain of salt, I think it's an excuse, but I think it's bigger than the Super Bowl.
Well, Steve Wilks has always been like a blitzing DC. He's never been a DC that was like sit back and play more coverage. And it seems like they needed more pressure because the front four wasn't getting there all the time. The back end seems to be wasn't a strong suit this season. And it seemed like everything was centered around the linebacker. So in this game, when you know you just lost your top tier linebacker, I mean, you had to play a certain style because he was playing with his replacement. They went after that replacement several times and kept killing them. They killed him in the flats. Like it was it was routine. They kept him with the same play over and over and over again. They would go at him every single time, and they did what they had, and they accomplished what they had to accomplish because of the fact they went after him every time. Man, listen, this is foul, bro. This is the foulest thing ever. If it was a strategic issue, then why hire him? You knew that you knew that he wasn't the style of DC that you wanted. Then why hire him in the first place? Right? What is he supposed to run? Is he supposed to run Robert Stylis and what's his name? Playbook? Like the D'Amico Ryans playbook? Is that what we're doing? I mean, last time I checked, didn't they lose the Super Bowl with Robert Stylis as the
Sure did.
DC? How about the last year when they lost the NFC Championship game to the Rams? Did they lose that with D'Amico
Nah, they
Ryan?
lost with Philly last year. They lost to Philly
Was
last year.
that Philly last year?
That's
Hold
Philly,
on.
yeah.
No, the year before that, then that was the Rams.
Yeah,
Did
the
they
year
lose
before
to
that was the
D'Amico
Rams.
Ryans? Was
Yeah.
he the DC then?
Yep.
What we doing? Like what are we doing? I don't think there's a lot of points being given up. I don't know. I mean, can somebody tell me why did Bosa not keep crashing down like he kept crashing down? I have no idea. What was he looking at? Like he said, they wasn't prepared for what they saw in the second half, but I mean, how was they not prepared for that? They kept crashing down. I mean, eventually they ran the same play. Like, what is it supposed to change? Like you ran the same play over and over again. You didn't stop it not one time. Like which one is it? Like, it's just a lot. It was a lot going on. It was a lot of BS. Every time something happens, it's always somebody wants to put somebody in a situation of it was their problem, their issue. But at the end of the day, you know, they just didn't make the plays, and they lost.
Yep.
That's simple. And he shouldn't probably been fired. It sucks now because he's not gonna be able to get a job. How's he gonna get a job? I mean, everybody's hired their staff at this point. So, you know, how long is the contract? I hope it's 3 or 4 years because they got to pay him the entirety of that contract. That's all that really matters. You still get your checks, but at the end of the day, like what? I mean, he can't go somewhere else and be in DC.
I think it was a 1-year contract.
I doubt it. I doubt they do 1-year contracts when it comes to. I mean, somebody can look that up. I mean, everybody can look at that information up. But I think it's rare that you do 1-year contracts.
I'm sure he got a new contract when he became the DC.
Yeah, so I think you wouldn't have and I think he also was the DC in Carolina, so he may be getting 2 checks at this point because I think he was on that contract as well. And it's very rare that you only get 1 contract, man. I mean only 1 year. Like I would have to see that. You have to send that out. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, it's just one of those things. I think it's foul, bro. It is what it is. It's we're at a point where, you know, maybe just brought him back for next year. Give him a full another offseason to figure it out. So I don't know. Key, you got something to say? I think you got your thumb up going over there. Like, what is that what you do that on purpose? I don't know what that is.
I'm using my new app to give you a thumbs up when you say something I like. You know what I mean?
Oh, my bad, man. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, what is that? I'm like, what is he doing? I thought you had something else you want to add in on that one.
Nah, I guess he's done.
Like I said, man, I was there for the Usher concert. Oh, that's what I was there for. I was there for the Usher concert. I don't even want to talk about the game anymore. Let's talk about when Usher got behind Alicia Keys. Like, let's talk about that right quick. Like, let's start with the married men. When y'all saw that, and y'all saw that Usher wrapped his pelvis around Alicia Keys, what was y'all thinking, man? Was y'all thinking like, man, what happened? What my boy gonna do? Like, how would y'all feel if somebody did your old lady like that in the middle of a concert?
I don't care.
Go ahead. You better ready to jump on that, so go ahead.
Hey, look, I don't care if Usher. Nah, hey, bro, you can't do that, my man. Hey, man, that's disrespectful, bro. Like that's real disrespectful. But hey, Swiss Beats allowed it. That's on him.
Yeah, and I'm sure he saw the pre-show.
Yeah,
and he know how Usher rolled, dog. Like he
yeah.
knew that off the break. He did the same thing as his Vegas residency. Like,
Yeah.
bro, you know what Usher gonna give you.
So you might well suck that thing on up.
Hey, bro, you knew what time it was, dog.
Third. Is he the third? Usher Raymond the third? He hell, boy.
Yeah,
that
he's
boy
hell
hell
now.
Yeah, so you knew what time it was, dog.
And he knew he on the big stage. He's like, man, look, I'm gonna go and put it all in right here. And everybody see me. You see me. You see me.
Hey,
My thing is how his old lady felt.
Yeah, she used to it though, because like we just saw, she probably been seeing at the shows.
Yeah, so she like, man, listen, he coming home to me. It is what it is. Keep it moving.
And she knew they were about to get married that day.
Yeah, yeah.
Key, what you was thinking, Key? What you saw that, Key? What you thought?
No, I saw it. I ain't really make no big deal of seeing it in real time. I was like, hey, you know, maybe that's what they rehearsal, you know. Then, you know, the internet is crazy, you know, but I like the way how Swiss Beat handled it. It's just like if you got an old lady in damn acting, they go, you know, same thing go on.
Mm-hmm.
Role play kiss. This is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So if she wouldn't have did it, if she would have bagged back or did something, the internet had something to say about that. It's only they singing a song. Yeah. It's not they trying to, you know. So either way, people gonna always have something to say, man. I just like the way he handled it, kept it moving. Like he said, bigger things y'all to worry about. Talk about that dress she had on. Let's talk about that. How that
Her
body.
dress is fire, right?
Woo. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, she look good with the whole little samba with the cape.
With the
Yeah.
red, boy. They
The
had
red
the
cape?
red on. Yes, sir.
Looking
And
good.
She was
Yeah.
killing, boy.
thinking that she was horse and all that. You was looking at that body. So, but the thing is, it's just like show business, man. You got a wife or somebody who's in a movie acting, you know what I'm saying, like a Gabrielle, was mellow old lady.
Lala.
Lala.
Let's go with show business, man.
Yeah, because you remember everybody had to say everybody had something to say when Lala was in that little sex scene with
Mm-hmm.
old boy on Power.
Right. So gotta entertain that big confidence.
I was impressed on how Usher was roller skating like that and still singing. Like, I mean, man, dude put a impressive show. I'm looking forward to this concert. He got to bring them roller skates out there, man, because I was impressed by that.
But you know, man,
His ass one time though.
Usher been doing this for about what? Since he's about like 8, 9,
30 years, man.
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah, bro. And to be in great condition and actually singing. Ain't no little
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
tired or nothing. Just I thought he did a great job to put all that in, like what, 12 minutes, 13 minutes, if that 15 minutes to put all that what he put in 15 minutes, man, was special.
Let me ask y'all this: 2025 Super Bowl's in New Orleans. Who should be the performer?
Gotta let Wayne perform.
You think he should be the main performer?
Gotta be the main one. He got both things. White people. He can do rock. He can do whatever you want to call it. He got every song to do everything. They let Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre did LA.
That's right, they did, didn't they?
To New Orleans. Just
Right.
I think they need to bring all of them back.
then he can
Not
bring,
just Wayne.
he
I
can
think they bring everybody.
Who?
bring out Nicki. He can bring out
Birdman, everybody from the original crew. I think
Man, I
the
don't know if
original
NFL
crew-
gonna do that though.
Man,
No.
listen. At the end of the day, you bring Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg them.
the Wayne bringing anybody is gonna be Nicki and Drake.
I agree with.
I
do
don't know if
agree.
we're gonna bring BG out there, dog, or
Man, let me
Juvie.
tell you something,
They don't
Buddy,
have like pop hits.
bro.
Yeah.
I don't care if you want to go. If you talking about New Orleans, and y'all having to shoot, I think they bring all. Is New Orleans own?
Oh, you put
They need to bring all of them out. Manny Fresh, everybody get on the stage.
a show. You know what I'm saying? A song.
I think that's just me. I mean, it's New Orleans own. Bring all them boys out, and I promise you that joint is gonna be off the
Yeah,
chain,
dude,
whether
you
they
can-
like it or not.
You can do Bling Bling, you know, a song that resonates across the world. You bring them on. You ain't letting them just rock no whole set. You know?
No, I'm just saying you bring different ones.
Juvie out there banging that ass.
Yeah, you can let
Hey, I
them
bet you they be out there doing it. Listen,
back.
you know everybody like that joint, back that thing up. So them folks be out there getting
No,
that joint in.
You can do a song with them, but I'm saying, but what will shut the Super Bowl down? Nicki and Drake come out there with them.
Yeah.
That would shut the Super Bowl down.
Yeah, I'd agree with everybody. I do think Wayne. I think Wayne needs a combination of different people. I mean, whether it's Wayne and a Hot Boys Quick song, yes, with a little bit of Juvenile mixed with that. I would love to see Wayne bring a couple of them with T-Pain, do some of T-Pain cuts with him. Like I think T-Pain has a nice arsenal of music that that I would love to see at a Super Bowl. I'm just excited to see they bringing in more of the urban African American artists. So in a city like New Orleans, where like what he means to that city, I think it would be terrific to bring him out. It's sort of how when Essence finally figured out we need to bring in Wayne for the Essence Fest versus just having other artists. They finally brought in Juvie and Wayne. Never understood why neither one of them had performed at Essence before. Yeah. That should be something you should always have. And I think they should have had Juvie closing one of those nights. And they didn't have. They just had him on for an early show. And then they had Wayne finally closing. I'm like, bro, how y'all never had these two dudes a part of Essence ever? Like, that's crazy. Either they didn't want to do it or they never offered. Because there's no way that type of event should not have an artist of those magnitude from the city that are now, I mean, that are as famous as they are, that not close out the show, bro. That's automatic. That shouldn't even be a thought process.
He already shooting his shot for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I saw that. He said, "Why not me?" You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think that'd be great. I love it.
Wayne could come out there with PJ Morton. Like, he can rock a set with Trombone Shorty. Like, he has so many different areas he can play with, different genres of music. It ain't always got to be like hip hop. Like, say he got a rock band. He can probably go out, come out that bitch with Linkin Park or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to give an entertainment show, like Wayne would be a perfect artist.
And got songs with your man, the white dude who was married to Paula,
Robin Thicke.
Wayne can rock genre music. And white people love Wayne. He can rock any genre.
I think it'd be great, man. I definitely want to see that happen. All right, so before we close out the NFL, man, look, do y'all think that the Chiefs gonna repeat or three-peat? Think it's gonna be an opportunity for them? You think they'll be back here next year, closing out for their third championship in 4 years? D, go ahead.
With the cap and all of that and free agency, it's going to be hard. I mean, but I think if they're going to have to bring certain pieces back for them to get there again. Certain pieces got to come back that they have on defense. I think they're going to have to get an upgrade for a wide receiver. There's no getting around. You got to get an upgrade. Yeah, you have managed to score. I mean, you have managed to win two Super Bowls with subpar receivers outside of Kelsey, but you eventually going to have to get an upgrade at receiver. Health is going to be a big issue. You know what I'm saying? Because at any given point, somebody can get hurt and really throw you into flux. But I do think it's going to be hard, but they got a chance. Baltimore is going to be back. Joe Burrow is going to be back. I think for Joe Burrow's situation is what you're going to do with T. Higgins. That's going to be a big part. That's going to be. I love Chase. Chase is a great receiver, but he needs somebody on other side of him. If they lose Boyd and they just chasing Joe Burrow, I don't see it. T. Higgins
ain't going nowhere, boy.
That's what I'm saying. He. I mean, it all depends.
They're franchising before anything.
Yeah, but we got to see what they're going to do. It is what it is. I think Buffalo, depending on what goes on up there. I mean, you're going to have other teams that who's really like that window is closing for them are going to be real desperate. So they're going to make some moves this offseason if they're under the cap to get their team better. But to not say they won't get there, that's a tough one. I think they'll be in the running, but I do think they got to bring other pieces back like Chris Jones, Snead, who are a big part of that defense, and health. You got to get through, training camp. You got to get to the season. I think the reason why they may not make it is because of health reasons. But if they get an upgrade at receiver and a couple of more and keep a couple of pieces that's already with the team, I think they got a chance.
Yeah, bro, they got a great shot, bro. I'm no longer betting against Patty, bro. I'm not betting against Patty no more, dog.
I told y'all.
No, I can't do it no more, dog. Yeah, I think they got a 75% chance.
They're gonna be in the running. They're gonna be another contender, but the killer gonna be back. They kryptonite. Joe Burrow, he healthy. They don't want to see him. They just some reason they just don't match up well. They just certain teams like just match up well with you. But
then they beat the Bengals last year.
Yeah, one time though.
They only beat you two straight in the playoffs. Like, how's that kryptonite?
Joe Burrow only lost to him once.
And he's only lost to him once.
No, he lost times.
No, he lost in the regular season.
Yeah,
but in the playoffs, they've only lost each other. They beat each other once.
They only met, but I'm saying a team that beat you multiple. Can't no team in the NFL say they done beat Patrick Mahomes multiple times. Nobody, other than Tom Brady and Joe Burrow. But I'm saying for a team.
Hold on, man. You can't. Hold on, man. No, man. Nah, because you keep doing this. You keep mixing the regular season with the playoffs, and the playoffs they 1-1. They don't matter about the regular season. The regular season is the regular season.
Okay,
they have that. But in the playoffs, they split.
All right, but I'm saying only two quarterbacks have beat him in the playoff. But I'm just saying for Cincinnati, feel confidence because they have done it more than once. If you want to say regular season, it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying in the playoff, only quarterback has beat him is Joe Burrow and Tom Brady. But Tom Brady is no longer playing in the NFL. So I'm just saying if they are healthy, that's to me will be the only team that can get them, knock them off. Because right now, that's all we saw that can beat them. Nobody else has. And everybody else had home field advantage. Everything was lined up against them this year, and they couldn't do it. Cincinnati, Kansas City in one. So that's why I'm saying it like that. You know what I'm saying? Kansas City, Cincinnati didn't even have home field advantage. They went to Kansas City. So that's what I'm saying. But they will be in the running. But like I said, it's hard to three-peat in any sport, man. It's just hard. Basketball, football, baseball.
They do have some. They're gonna have some tough competition coming out. Some really good teams, really good quarterbacks. On the ball be there. I'm not gonna about them. They do have some guys to pay. They have to make some very tough decisions, but they'll still be in the running. I mean, you talk about Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. They're also a situation. He'll be back this year. That's gonna be the problem for them. The Burrow's pretty nice Baltimore, so kind of like it all runs the same way. But a lot of good teams are going to be there next year. You got to think there's going to be somebody come out of nowhere. Last year was Houston Texans. So there's always some competition, but I kind of stopped betting against this dude, man. He's getting them there every single year. He's had top tier talent got there. We all thought it was because of the top tier, the better receivers, and he's had some receiving core that's not as great, and he still got there. So it's something about that team. That defense only get better young. I think they're very cheap now. They're gonna have to with Chris Jones. He's going to come back at a team-friendly deal, but for the most part, man, they can keep their core. Kelsey, Jones, Mahomes, and I still feel they have a shot. So the O-line is better than I think they've been better than expected. In the past, I think their O-line was horrendous last year for sure. And then some years in the past, but now, man, it seems like they're playing better football, better overall football. So they got a shot, man. It's just about, staying healthy, but their D is ferocious. This has been probably his best defense he's had since he's been in Kansas City. And they still are in a team-friendly deals. It's only when you're going to have to start paying that D that's going to be the point when they're going to have to figure it out. Just say pause to that, by the way. But it's just a simple fact of that's going to be the thing. When they have to pay the defense, that's when they're going to start. You may see them slip it. But outside of that, man, they clap it up for them. They are the two-time defending champs. Yes, and, we want to give our thoughts and prayers to the families that are affected by the shooting in Kansas City the other day. It's kind of sad to see that happening. One at all, but definitely at a parade where you're trying to celebrate your team. So that's unfortunate. But, their team is definitely doing well, man. They are getting very obnoxious, though. I'm going to tell you that for sure. The obnoxious level is starting to receive at an all-time high. They're getting super obnoxious the way they're trying to celebrate and get on people's nerves about being the best, man. So I know a lot of players, they got to be chomping at the bit to try to get rid of them because I know they're tired of it. So good luck to that next season.
But
all right, man. So
only thing you do see Kelsey starting to slow down. If you got an athletic linebacker, you can start to slow him down a little bit now. So
I can't say that because they put Fred Warner on him, and he still balled out. He balled out the second half because they were isolating on him.
But I felt what's the linebacker got hurt?
Yeah, he was balling.
Greenlaw.
Yeah, Greenlaw. I don't think he had a catch, but before he got hurt. I'm just saying he's not where he's taking over a game just completely now for 4 quarters. He'll have a little, look, I just ain't understand Baltimore game plan in the first half on him,
But that what makes Patty so special, where he's winning with subpar receivers. You know what I'm saying? He's not winning with no A+, B+ receivers. I mean, outside of Kelsey, Rashee Rice is coming on as a rookie, but you look at Watson, he dropped the ball all year. Sky Moore couldn't even get back on the field. Tony was a shell of himself, so he probably won't even be with them next year. And then you had Valdez Scanlon, who couldn't catch a cold all season but make big catches when they needed to make. So that shows you that for a whole season, they couldn't catch the ball, but when it really matters, those guys make plays without Kelsey. Without Kelsey, you know what I'm saying, doing what he do. So, I mean, at the end of the day.
But like James said, it was the defense, though. If that defense,
No, and you 100% right.
And in a lot of games.
Yeah.
We got to get that defense a lot of props this year. They go home early.
Yeah, without question. And you 100% right. That defense won them games.
They always came up with a turnover when they was on the verge of getting out of there. Some type of way. It was just their year, man. It was just their year this year. When you felt like, okay, they about to get really put out their middle, a muff punt, fumble or something, it was their year this year.
And what's crazy is the Raiders beat the brakes off on Christmas Day. They beat them so bad, they like, man, these boys done. They out of it, they done. But for some reason, they beat Miami. Then you come back, you go on the road, beat Buffalo. Buffalo had the game won. The dude missed a field goal, but McDermott had a chance to put his foot on their neck, and he took his foot off the gas. Then he comes to Baltimore. Lamar didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? You didn't show up, and when you don't show up, this is what happens. So it's a scary thing to where if he can win with subpar receivers,
he's definitely gonna be in it next year.
He's gonna be in it, but it's gonna be harder. But I think with the focus that they got now, and like James said, you got to find them key pieces. Because if you let a couple of them key pieces go on defense, now you go back to now I got to score 40.
But they got
probably Snead. I think it's contract up.
They got
a Snead. They want to pay. They're gonna have to pay Snead. He's going to be a top 3 corner.
Yeah, they're gonna have to pay him. They're gonna have to draft some receivers in the draft. They're gonna have to get them some receivers in the draft. They're gonna have to do that.
Yeah,
they still got. I mean, Rice is a good building point, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, next year he'll be his second year. He was a rookie. I think he had over 1,250 yards receiving, so he wasn't bad.
No,
you know
they just need some depth of receiver. They need some young. If they can get them a home run hit in the draft as a receiver, a nice receiver, they're gonna have to get one.
But I do think they need that key veteran too. They need a key veteran that they can get in free agency that can be that supplement, that be that guy where, you know, if they're having a bad day, you know that he's gonna get this catch for you. You know what I'm saying? If you need this touchdown,
it'll be some receivers on the market. I'm pretty sure there'll be some out there that they know they'll be able to get their hands on. It's always, you know, a receiver that the scrum receiver don't want to be on the team. Quarterback problems, issues happening. I mean, my man down in he's tight, he's probably gonna be asked about his contract pretty soon. And these things happen. He'll get there.
And the enemy's going to be back in Kansas City.
We'll see.
Yeah, I can see that.
We'll see. In what capacity?
He's going to be the offensive coordinator.
Oh, they already got an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Nagy.
The enemy by the end next season, the enemy going to be the offensive coordinator. Mark it down.
Nagy, you going to demote him?
Yes, he can go.
Man,
listen, Patty didn't want him this year. You saw Patty was ready to get rid of. Dog, you go from 30 points a game to 17 points a game from an offensive standpoint. Patty was already saying that he wanted the enemy back. The enemy is going to be the new OC back in Kansas City before the year out.
And the reason I say I agree with Donovan because their offense took went slight down when he left.
And they had the same players.
Yeah.
From an offense standpoint, they had the same players. They were scoring 30 with these dudes, and now I'm down to scoring 17 a game. The enemy gonna be back there next year. OC.
Hey, we'll see. I think that need to be working on his interviewing skill set. Like, I don't know why that dude ain't got a job, man. Or he didn't even want to go down to college and take one of them jobs. Everybody want to get out of head coaching. He could have easily took over one of them. So,
but
we'll see, man.
I think because they recycling the same coaches, man. I hate to say it, man. African Americans just have it hard. You got a few that get. But it's just hard for us to get coaching jobs in the NFL.
That's not true.
We've been getting a lot lately.
They made
some moves lately. Yeah,
it's him. Like he's the African-American coaches.
You got 32. How many teams in the NFL? 32.
Mm-hmm.
And you got what? 6 black coaches?
Nah.
But it's always been in theory. It's kind of been like that for a while. But
that's what I'm saying.
They had a series of black coaches being hired.
They got at least 10.
D'Amico Ryans with the Texans, man with the Atlanta Falcons. There are
Raheem Morris
coaches been hired for the last like 2 or 3 years. To be honest with you, man, we don't understand what's going on with Eric Bieniemy. Like, I mean, I can't say and put that on all the other coaching staffs.
But my thing is, even when the black coaches get coached, they get the dumps of the jobs. They never, you know what I'm saying? You gotta damn near go to the bottom of the trash to get a job.
Oh well,
I mean,
great teams got 5 great coaches.
Last time I checked, the Commanders weren't that good. They still didn't hire him. So what type of dump are you talking about? Is there a dump worse than the Commanders?
like black coaches don't get a chance to, when I say like the San Diego job that came up available, jobs like that.
They in the dumps with us, Keith. What are you talking about?
Huh?
What San Diego won? They in the dumps with us. What are you talking about?
But San Diego got a great quarterback.
Keith, what have they won?
I think that's been due to coaching. That's been due to coaching.
All right, the Raiders got a good coach. They got Pierce.
Yeah, but I said they
they've been the dumpster fire since what? Since Jim Plunkett?
One out of a million. I'm just saying we got too many great black who done played the game, that knows the game, not getting enough opportunity to be head coaches. That's all I'm saying.
But just because you play the
I
game,
get what you're saying, but I'm trying to imply, and that's what I'm expressing here, is that if you look over the last 2 years, especially this past off season, it was more head coaches in the NFL that was hired more black coaches in the NFL hired probably in the last cycle than any other time. So I get what you're saying, but we're also expressing like there's lots of evidence of there has been more minority coaches being hired. So like even though what you're expressing makes sense and is logical and it does ring some truthfulness in it, it's not necessarily applies to this offseason.
Yeah, and we got that, but I'm still at the end of the day, you taking teams that are 2 and something, 3 and something, and if you don't turn them around in 2 years, up out of it.
If you were a very good team, why would you fire the coach?
But there's been some good teams that like borderline teams like 9 and something or 10 and something fired their coach. I'm just saying.
Ooh, give me an example.
Huh?
Give me an example.
The Chargers, for example.
When Lindsey was there?
Yeah, the Chargers. It was another team.
Even off that season, they weren't 9. They won 9 games. They won like 4.
No,
and even last year, this past season, they won like 5. They didn't win a lot of games.
I think they
fired 2 years ago.
They won 4 games a year ago.
Who? No, they didn't.
When they had Lindsey, I think it was like 9 and 7.
They won like 4 or 5 games.
Now, when they had Lindsey, they won 2 years ago. I think they went 9 and 7 when they fired him. Now, if you'd have said Jim Caldwell,
wait, who?
Lindsey, the black dude that was one of the defensive coordinators with San Francisco before the young dude got there from San Diego.
Anthony?
The black dude. Yeah, Anthony Lynn. That's Lynn, whatever his name is.
And that was like almost 4 years ago.
That's what I said. 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago.
No, it wasn't 2 years ago. Because the dude you
only been there 2 years.
Rams, he was the Rams DC.
Well,
he wasn't around DC. He was the Rams DC the year before that.
I'm just saying what the stuff we're getting even like who was
Jim Caldwell.
Yeah. At the Arizona job right now.
That's Steve Wilks who got fired.
Yeah, the Arizona job right now. They not getting back opportunities for those jobs like that teams are winning 8-9 games. You're going to like old boy had to go to Houston and just rebuild. And then if you don't rebuild it, they're getting you 2-3 years to even win. If you put
who talking about the dude, he didn't got rebuild at the Texans. He was that team was already young before he got there, Keith.
That's what I'm saying though. But he had to up and make that team a winner. He just ain't go to a team that was winning 8 games or 7 games or 9 games. He did a great job of making them a contender, I'm saying, but you have to at least start from the bottom to
really? No, not really, Keith. If you're a black coach, not really, bro.
Ain't one black coach got a handmade team picked already. That you got potential to go right into the playoff the next year.
The Texans did it.
Nah, the Texans won. No. Nobody thought the Texans.
Mike Tomlin got it.
And Mike Tomlin got it.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin. Yeah, but Mike Tomlin.
Okay, and Pierce right now with the Raiders ain't a bad team.
Yeah, but they won 3-4 games, bro.
They won more than 3 games.
What I don't understand is if you were a team that was impressive of like There's only so many times a coach has been able to get hired or with a team on the crest of winning a Super Bowl or at least as close to getting a playoff berth. Why would they fire that coach if they're that close? They see the progress happening, so they're gonna keep going unless that team is underachieving.
Okay, like to say the Saints job next year. If dudes don't make the playoff, this is last year. A black coach ain't getting that job. A team that been winning 8 games, 9 games a year. You know what I mean? That's what
Why
I'm
wouldn't he?
We shall see.
I get what you're saying, man. I still feel like there's some things that you maybe like. I get your examples just maybe throwing me off. I feel like your examples are what you're talking about versus the actuals are two different things. Well, that's what I'm kind of I get what you're saying. Yes, there are some. You are right with the fact that there isn't the opportunities for when African Americans they do have to get the bottom tier teams, but like I mean they're not giving. I mean they didn't get the Chicago Bears job was awful, right? And they still. I mean that coach ain't black. Like I mean so there are coaches who also have to get very they are in position to get higher position where teams are not very good. And they were still thinking about firing that coach. I feel like I get what you're saying. It still takes, you know what I mean? I think the organization is probably, do they get black coaches get a really good organization, good stable organization? Maybe that's a better example too. Because I don't think the Packers ever had a black head coach. Maybe. Did they? I think they did.
They did.
Oh,
They did have one.
They had
Brother.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that used to be the Philly coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about it. I think that's the only time I've seen a
Ray Rose.
Yep. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Outside of that, normally see that Pittsburgh Steelers has been an anomaly. Those core teams that always have top tier, always winning. I mean, so it is what it is. Let's get some NBA discussion, man. It's NBA All-Star Weekend. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Let's talk about a lot of storylines we've been seeing as far as in the NBA this past year. Let's start with the Bucks, right? That 3-7 going to the NBA All-Star break. Like, please start us off, bro. Like, what's your thoughts on what Doc has done in his first 10 games as the head coach of the Bucks?
Man,
I said Keon. I didn't say you.
Oh, my bad, bro.
Well, even before Doc I said that team gonna take a step back from letting a lot of their defensive players go. But Doc, I didn't like to hire you when they hired Doc. I always say Doc is overrated. He is who he is, man. At this point, he's still living off that 2008 championship from the Boston Celtics. Other than that, man, he done showed the dude done lost more 3-1 leads than probably any other NBA head coach in the history of the NBA. And I just I didn't understand. If you're gonna go with Doc, you probably could have let old boy roll it out for the rest of the year and see what he do. At least they was winning, you know what I mean? And I know you got to go with your superstar players. You know, it had to been signed off on Giannis saying he ain't want to play for old boy, but at least they was winning. But when they hired Doc, man, I was like, they ain't winning no championship because X's and O's gonna come right back down to him again in the playoffs, where he's just not a great adjustment coach. And when he did win a championship, he probably had 6 Hall of Famers on that team. So I'm not even shocked because I don't think Doc Rivers is a great coach. He's a good coach, but he's not nobody I want if your goal is to win a championship.
go ahead, D.
I'm not mad at Doc. If you're gonna keep paying me that money to come and coach your team, I'm gonna keep coaching. So you're gonna give him the money. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at Doc, but what I am, I think it's a team, it's a chemistry with that team. I don't think it's so much with Doc. I think that team is not playing to the heights the way they can play. And I think that's what they need to get back to playing defense. They're not playing defense like they originally was to get to that 33 and whatever it was before Doc got there. And I think at the end of the day, you winning. Now Doc come, you're 3-7. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I think they should have left old boy in his place. Keep playing, you're winning, everything running smooth. You got the train moving, and then y'all put some emotional issues with the players and with him that right now is like they need an adjustment. They need an adjustment. And when you don't play defense, this what happens when you don't play defense. You can't just outscore people every night. You got to put forth a plan defense. Now, do they got a pretty good team? Do I think they can get to the championship? Yes, they got the pieces, but you got to get down to playing defense. And if you don't play defense, you're gonna lose in the playoffs. They shouldn't have lost to Memphis last night. They had no business losing to Memphis the other night. So it's just like, for me, you got the talent. You just got to put the chemistry together and play together and get through this. Bottom line.
What Danny Green say? They are who we thought they were. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know who Doc is, bro. We know when it come playoffs, he's not gonna perform. He's not a great coach. It just ain't playing defense. And if it was me, I would have gave it to one of the assistants, right? Under Griffin. Like, I would have gave an interim, and that'd have been it. I wouldn't have brought Doc in mid-season like that. So, yeah, that's it.
That was it. I figured you had more to say. Yeah, I agree with everybody. I think Doc. I think it's a proven point that Doc's not. Maybe shouldn't be there. I mean, they signed him for like what, 3-4 years. I mean, you about to. I mean, the way this is going, they're gonna be end up paying their fourth coach in the last like 4 years. Because I think Buchhauser is still. He's still on contract because they fired him early in his contract. Don't get resigned. They fired him early in his contract. They got Adrian Griffin still on contract. Then they're gonna have Doc to third coach. They're hiring fourth coach pretty soon because this team is old, man. Like, this team is old. This is an old veteran team that their youngest player is not playing to his full capabilities right now. The most talented player, Giannis, he's not being the defensive minutes that he was early in his career. This is a two-time defensive player of the year that blocked a lot of shots. I think he's averaging under one block a game. That's not Giannis that we've all seen, that we saw in the finals, that made that incredible block against Phoenix Suns. That's not the Giannis I remember. That's not the Giannis we all remember. This has been ridiculous. This has not been the defensive teams that we've seen in the past. And so they're not scoring at this point since Doc. Their defense probably played a little bit better. Keep trying to bring in, mid-level veterans that are wing players that are probably a little bit past their prime. They're having a tough time staying in front of people. Middleton continuously keep getting hurt, whether it's the ankle or the knee or something else. Maybe they need to put Giannis more at the 5 and bring Lopez off the bench. Seems like that big lineup is not working. And teams have figured it out. Miami beat them without majority of their starters last game when they played. The last game they played each other. Because the people have figured out to space them out, bring in shooters at the 5 and the 4, force them to have to play from distance, and you don't have to worry about going into the defending the basket because they're going to shoot the 3, and people are going to – all they're doing is right now is just keeping them spaced out, and then they can drive when they want to, and they can do what they need to do. And it doesn't make sense that they won't go a little smaller, play that small unit, and Lopez, really honestly, should be more of a backup at this point in the career anyway. Dame's going through a divorce. Seems like he's emotionally out of it. That's just – it's just a plethora of issues they're having from this team, and it's taking a long time for him and Giannis to gain some type of chemistry. So that's not helping them at all. I don't know what they're gonna do in the playoffs. They were the 2nd seed, not the 3rd seed. Like, they're free falling. So I don't know from a Buck standpoint, what can you do? I mean, let me ask y'all this question real quick, and I'll start with you. At this point, do you think the Cavs and the Knicks, can they beat them in a 7-game series?
I think so. I think they'll have a shot. I think it'll be a long series. Uh, because the like I said, Doc coaching. I don't believe him in the playoffs. And the Knicks got a good gritty team that's not gonna back down. So do the Cavs got players that can go get 30 or 40 on the perimeter. Who Milwaukee have no one to guard, good guards anyway. You know what I'm saying? They can go get their own buckets, who can go crazy and nuts. They have no one who can stop, who can guard. And when it comes to the playoff, yeah, I see them getting upset in like the second round. And man, I'm going past the second round. Like we were saying, they play no defense. They got no one on the perimeter who can guard anyone. So you're always gonna have to help. And it just takes for a team that can break you down off the dribble, and you got somebody going nuts hitting threes from the outside because now your defense broke down and you gotta rotate to stop the ball. I can definitely see them losing to one of those. Even Indiana, let's talk about Indiana, who've been going at them all year. Anyway, they split up 3-2 and how many times they play. I think Indiana have a shot to beat them in a 7-game series.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna be trouble come playoff time, like he said.
Yeah, I agree with you too. I agree with you, Key, because at the end of the day, like you said, Doc, right now he looking like Stinky Boo Boo. You know what I'm saying? Ever since he touched the team, they 3-7. How you 33 and 10? And now you 3-7 when you fire the coach? That's gonna be the issue. Doc can't coach in the playoffs. And so at the end of the day, that's what it's gonna be. I think the Knicks and the Cavs could beat them in a 7-game series. Easy.
Yeah. I definitely don't want to see it because I do not want to listen to my boy Rail's mouth. Like he already tried to tell me that he's gonna tell me I told you so. But I mean, it is an opportunity for them. They got a shot. It's just I don't know what it is about this. Maybe they'll turn on the playoffs. You don't normally see that, but man, it just seems like it's just something off about this team. And if somebody if Thomas say one more time, they see Thomas saying something about pass me the ball or doing some, man, bro, like come on, man, what we doing, bro? Like let's cut it out. Like you're like, come on, man, I like Thomas, and that's Giannis' brother, and I respect somebody trying to defend their brother, but they're gonna have to make a decision on him. I think it's gonna be eventually where they're gonna have to tell Giannis, like, bro, we gotta let him go. Right? Like we paying him that $1.5 million, man. Go pay that, take that out of your contract. Take a couple million out that contract and give it to him.
And you know what? I think that is the issue with that team. I really do think that's the biggest issue because they can't get somebody else because Giannis has forced their hand to keep his brother. And like you say, Middleton hurt. Like Middleton ain't giving them nothing. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody gonna trade for Middleton because ain't nobody he damaged goods. So really, they could get 2 players, but Middleton hurt, and with Giannis' brother just sitting there making money. I ain't mad at him, but at the end of the day, you got to get somebody that's gonna give you something for the team. Because right now, like you said, the Knicks and the Cavs might bust their chops in a 7-game series.
I think they got a shot, man. But I do think that I don't think you're gonna get rid of Thomas this season, but next season is gonna have to be a very strong conversation about making Thomas more of a equipment manager instead of a player. You know what I mean? Like you still could be on the staff, we'll still pay him, but like, you know what I mean? But maybe he should think about being a different role, man. Like,
hey man, send him to the G League. I mean, he can go play.
Yeah, maybe you should be. Go ahead.
That's never going. But they trying to keep Giannis. That's a package deal.
Man, listen, man. Maybe you should think about being security for Giannis, be more of a basketball player. At some point, man, because I think he's like 31, 32. And I know he was drafted before Giannis. I think he was drafted by the Knicks. So, like, you know there is talent there. He's not bad. But, I mean, when you're trying to build this camaraderie with the team, you got to figure out, like, what is going to be the best solution for the team. And maybe him being, in the position he's in is not helping the team. So, I don't know, man. Let's talk a little bit about, I think we've been talking about them. We talked about I was going to bring up the Lakers. Do we have the Lakers on here? But I want to talk about the Timberwolves. Like, what's your impression, what you've been seeing with the Timberwolves so far this first half of the season, Key? Go ahead, start us off on that.
Man, they got a stud, man, who can probably be the face of the NBA. And Elvis, man, the dude got all the skills. Shoot, can dribble, play deep, starting to play defense now. To me, been a top 5 player this year. Probably a top 5 candidate for MVP. You got Cat now, who's balling also. And we was making fun about what they were doing picking Gobert. They're even starting to have chemistry now with him and Cat playing, having the bigs, and so it can be real dangerous in the playoffs, because they've been in the playoffs a few years now where they had some some heartbreak losses where the team is starting to gel with each other, know how to play with each other. They've been through wars where they done lost in blue leagues and lost game 7s, been in game 7. So, and that was just special, man. I love seeing them boy play. And like we were saying, man, the NBA is a young league, man. And now these young boys' time is their time now. These the starting to carry the league. Like you got him in OKC. These teams like now it's their time, and they starting the Pelicans when they healthy. So it's no more. We about to own the end of an era where we're starting to see, they still to be good, but those teams like Golden State and Lakers and Phoenix and all these other teams going deep in the playoffs. You about to start seeing these teams like Sacramento and OKC and Minnesota now, and the Pelicans. They can stay up to starting to going forward in the playoffs. They're gonna be playing in late May and early June. You about to start seeing that shift. So I just love to see Elvis play, man. He's box office.
Yeah, I think the changing of the guard is coming. But like you said, the older teams, they're getting older. But the problem I have is when it's time for the playoff, the young guys it has to be a full mental thing with them. Athletically, they can run these older teams out of the gym. But I think the mental part is where I think the older teams get them, because they know the little savvy moves. They understand certain times and points in the game that's going to help them get over these younger guys, because they've never been in this position. But I do think the change in the guard is coming. Like you said, OKC, Minnesota, teams like that, like Sacramento. I think they got the right coaches for those teams, but they're also starting to build that mentality. Like, hold up, we are more athletic. I think we got better chemistry. And I think they're starting to feel like, you know what, why we can't win? Everybody giving all this press to these guys. And I think that's where, like the Edwards, Gobert, who's been a veteran, who's been in the league, is helping them guys along. You know what I'm saying? Big Cat, like I said, they've been in a couple of wars. And I think now this season, you're going to see like the Sacramentos, the OKC, they might take full control of this NBA from the West side, because they got some talent the way they can get it done. But I just want to see, can they, from the mental standpoint, can they overcome beating these teams after being athletically beaten?
Yeah, I think with with Cat being healthy this year, I think that's really helping their team a lot. And like I said, and that was just becoming his team. Like he's playing coming off the Olympics. It's his team. But if I'm them, I wouldn't want to play like a Lakers or a Phoenix in the first round. Like that would be an epic fail going into the playoffs. But they're doing well. They just got to prove it in the playoffs. Like they've done it a couple years now. They got to prove it in the playoffs. Like it's time. Cat been in the league a very long time. He should have carried that team a lot further, but he hasn't. But now that they got another stud, it's playoff time.
Hey, quick question before I jump into this. I agree with everybody what you're saying. I think in Minnesota is a for real team, and even though it is at the top of the Western Conference, it is a game minimum. You're one loss from dropping the 4th to the 5th seed, just how close these teams are when it comes to the number 1 seed or even the number 2 seed, because the Clippers playing ball. So there is something about having those veteran players who playing. Kawhi's playing like a MVP candidate. Edwards playing like an MVP candidate. And so I will hate to see a Minnesota playing the Clippers in the second round because I think that'd be a huge mismatch because of the fact of the coaching added with the fact they just have too many star players that can play against the Timberwolves, and it'd just be a tough order for them. But I think somebody mentioned something about New Orleans, and I want to jump and ask that question real quick. Just real quick answer, and Keith started us off on this one. How you felt about Zion's play this year? Like this year, like give me a quick answer on how you felt about Zion's play.
I felt like he's doing well. I just love to see that he's played more games than he ever probably played first half and in his career. Seemed like he's tired of people talking about, like, especially after the playing championship. You can see a more focus on him. I think he really took the heart when Shaq and Charles Barkley all got on him, and he realizing he don't have to be a Zion that getting 30 a night with his Pelicans. Any different night, you got a player on. You got like probably 4 players even any given night that 30. And so just from being active, you starting to play the defense, want to play defense, get right. So since that play-in tournament game, I would give Zion an 8. Showing up every night, actually hustling, actually trying to guard on the defensive end, not worrying about the highlight dunks. You start to see him more. Sometimes he even start the offense with his handling, with assists, feeding the other players, getting shots off. You can see his attitude now, like he want to be there and play, not just going through the motions. So I just really think what really changed him when Charles Barkley and Shaq and them ripped him a new one after that, and Stephen A. Smith and them going on that next day, killing them. And since the play-in tournament, I had to give him an 8. And they've been rolling ever since the play-in tournament. So I think they probably best records in the league, winning percentage wise. And they're a deep team, and so they will be problem for anybody in a 7-game series if they healthy. They will be a problem. You will have to probably go a good 7 with them.
Yeah, I think Zion realized just be yourself. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be nobody else. Be yourself. Come to play every night, and everything else will take care of itself. You're a great talent. Everybody knows you're a great talent. And I think he's starting to figure out, like, you know what? We can win in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? We got enough people in this section to where, like he said, if I don't get 30, somebody else can get 30. If he don't get 30, somebody else can get 30 or 25 and lead the team in scoring. And a lot of times we put media and other people put pressure on these guys, and they don't be themselves. They want to be more than what they need to be, and they lose who they are when it comes to playing basketball. And I think now that Zion realized, okay, let me just be myself, let me perform, let me do the things that's going to keep me on the court and not off the court. You know what I'm saying? Because off the court, that's where you have all these distractions. And I think early on in his career, he was distracted. He couldn't keep his weight down. He couldn't do the positive things to keep him on the court and to help this team win, because he felt like, well, I want to be in New York, or I want to be here to get more limelight. Well, dude, you're getting the limelight by being yourself and doing what you're doing in New Orleans now. You know what I'm saying? And what would be a greater feeling, even if you can help them get to the West Championship, guess what? You done did your job. It's all about winning championships, but you have now realized that, hey, if I be myself, I come out, I do the dirty work, I play defense, I give you the points every night, and I'm on the court every night. That makes a big difference. And I think that's what he's done, like he said, since that champion, that the little mid-break championship that they had. So if he can keep this going and everybody else keep doing what they're doing, and I think New Orleans can make some noise in the Western Conference.
Man, Jay said a quick response, man.
Hey, man, my bad, bro. My bad.
No, I think it's really just about health. Like, I think Zion realizing I can't be sitting if I got a sore ankle or I got a little nick here. Everybody's nicked up around this time of the year. So he has to just put in his mind, like, I'm going to play regardless. Same way with Anthony Davis. Seems like Anthony Davis playing now through little nicks and bruises, whereas before he was sitting out. Same with Zion. So I think, he's always put up big numbers when he played. I just think now the health is his biggest factor going forward. He's been playing well when he's healthy, and just stay that way.
Yeah, they've been a good story. I mean, Zion's a good story this past first half of the season, especially after the record he took, looking a little chubby when doing the tournament they had, mid-season tournament they had. It seems like now it kind of came together for him, and he's looking like a better leader for it too. Seems like the team is following his direction. The team is playing a lot better, and that's only going to make it more exciting for the playoffs to see a lot of these young teams. It's going to be some young talent that they're going to get introduced to the rest of the world during the playoff season because of the fact that these teams are playing well. So hopefully they keep staying healthy. I don't want to see any collapse for them. I like what the Pelicans are doing, and so I just like to see him, keep taking those next steps. I still feel like he needs a jumper. His mid-range game sometimes isn't there. If he ain't being with that first step and trying to go to the basket, or he'll throw a floater up, that's about it. He needs that mid-range, and he has a decent three-point shot. We just need that mid-range. But I do like the way they're doing it, like the way they're playing. They got, like Keith said, they got about 3 or 4 players who need 40 every night. That 40 every night. And they're going to be a tough team to take out. So, kudos for him for finally figuring it out that it's going to take a little bit more for him to get to that level where he wants to be. And, I like what they're doing. One more discussion I want to talk about before it was doing the that we heard about doing the first half of the season was, that trade of LeBron going to the Golden State Warriors. Ray, start us off on that one, man. When you heard about that, LeBron, maybe the Warriors asking the Lakers, is LeBron available? And inquiring about a trade to Golden State, man. Like, what were you thinking when you heard that? Like, what went into your mind, and what was your thoughts on that?
That just showed the Warriors are desperate. They see the championship window I already said, has been closed, and you're just shooting your shot, bro. LeBron is a cat that he gonna put them subliminals out there throughout the year. You might feel he unhappy or whatever, but I think he's locked into LA for the rest of his career. His kids are there, businesses are there. It's easy, but it's just a sign of organization just desperate. That's what I thought when I saw that.
Hey, man.
Yeah. So I was like, dang, when I saw it, I was like, well, it's 2 things you can take from that too. That shows you that Steph Curry don't have no ego. For to go like he do it, and certain superstar players like that, they don't want to share the spotlight. He shared it with K. Then you want to go after LeBron. He's about winning championship. He don't care what people gonna say or they gonna try to rank him. He just want to win and still be himself. Another reason I was like, damn, what would you get at Lakers? Hey, well, like what would the Lakers get back? Yeah, I see the plus for you. But what would the Lakers get back? What you gonna give up Klay Thomas?
They're gonna give up Klay and Draymond. That's what I thought Ray was gonna say. Like, what in the world are they gonna get for him?
Yeah, like what you gonna give him? Kaminga, Klay Thomas, like what? Like what? That shit. Come on, man. But hey, they said if you ain't trying, look.
X.
If you don't want to win, if you ain't trying, might as well see what will happen. But yeah, I was like, damn, I would love what they said. Okay, this will be the package.
Yeah.
We'll do a lot of first round picks and young talent. Like I would love to see. I would love because no one ever came out with a deal, right? No one never came out and said this will be the package.
Nope. Something gonna leak.
You definitely want to announce, but I would love to see what we're gonna give for him.
Yeah, I agree with y'all too. Like what you gonna get? You know what I'm saying? What the Lakers gonna get back, and then how? But still, it'll be like a situation. It'll be like a situation like they got in Phoenix. Who your best player is gonna be? You know what I'm saying? After that first start in 5 or whatever, shit. When you go late in the playoff, in the playoff, what you gonna have? You ain't gonna have nothing. You ain't gonna have nothing. So I mean, it's crazy how they kept it under wraps. They kept that thing under wraps for a long time. Normally, somebody would have broke that story But I'm like Key and Ray, like, hey, that's wild. But they're like, you got to try something. You got to try something. Everybody getting older. You know what I'm saying? LeBron older. Doggone Steph getting older. Clay ain't moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I'm moving better than Clay. I done told my Achilles. I mean, he done told his too, but I mean, he run more than me. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, why not try it? Why not?
And then now you don't move Clay to the bench, but he had what 30-something the other night off the bench. First time
Yeah,
off.
he had 30 off the bench, 35.
Yeah.
He played off in the fourth quarter, but for the first three, he was electrifying.
So that tell you right there, he's no longer on the Warrior after next year. They're not gonna give him an extension.
Unless he sells the roller coming off the bench.
Yeah, but I think he still, I don't know. He should, but I don't know. He probably want his money too. You know. Yeah, because
what I got out of that, I gather out of that, man, is I think it was a two-way street. The Lakers feel like, to me, they're a little desperate. But what in the world if they? I mean, I don't know. I know the Warriors reached out to him, but to even entertain that thought, right? To be like, hey, man, like, you know, can we get LeBron up here? Like, what? I wouldn't even think about that unless LeBron. But to me, did LeBron push that narrative? Did LeBron saying he went out of LA? I mean, come on, man. Like, at some point, man, like, you ain't winning in LA, bro. Like, your team's in the 9th or 10th seed in the West. I don't see what's going to happen in the next couple of years to make them better. I don't think. I mean, what draft picks do they have? Do they have any draft picks next season? Like, when do the New Orleans draft picks kick in?
I think they got a first round next year. That's why they ain't want to give up a protected maybe 2 years from now. I don't know. Next year, I don't know. It's a protected something they got from New Orleans. That's probably why they took the call to see, all right, how many first round picks you want to give up for LeBron. That can be a reason too.
Yeah, I don't see how in the world that. I mean, they don't have much capital. I mean, they don't have any capital, to be honest. If you think about it, they don't have anything else next. Like, I mean, they're in a position where this doesn't work out, man. The Lakers can be in doomsday patrol like for the next few years.
Well, not really. If you trade AD and LeBron and just start over,
that's the only way. But then at that point, who gonna give you anything at all for those type of players? Because they're not gonna be championship style players at that point.
Well, AD
they're not all-star. They're not gonna be all-star players.
AD stocked up this year. You'll get a couple of pieces for AD right now.
You gotta trade him after next year. You're not gonna trade him after you've already gave him a $60 million per year deal.
Yeah, you have to do it next year. You like a contender or somebody give you something. I'm just saying AD probably what 30, 29, 30.
There's no contender that's gonna be able to take on that contract. His contract is $60 million per year.
Get rid of a couple of pieces if you feel like okay, I can keep him for that. Yeah.
You're gonna have to give up at least 3 players because the contract is $60 million a year.
Yeah, hey, there's only trading people.
And the NBA always figure it out.
Yeah,
they always figure it out somehow, bro.
It's one of the hardest things you have to go to a roster that needs a makeover.
Hey, bro, we started the same thing for Russ contract.
Russ contract, even Russ contract, they gave a lot of players.
But that's what I'm saying. Some people for that AD, they feel like you got another 5 years with them. We'll take them. You know what I'm saying? You at least got like another 5 years of AD. At least another 5. Yeah. They took James Harden deal.
Who's?
The Clippers.
Yeah, but they gave a lot of players.
That's what I'm saying. So a team like that feel like they right there will give up some draft picks and some inspiring, like they would do it. That's what I'm saying. They'll find a way to get them if they want AD.
What did y'all think about it? I know y'all heard this though. What do you think about Kuzma turning down a deal to Dallas?
I'm not mad, man. Kuzma ain't worried about it. Done got a ring. At this point, Kuzma want to give up his 25, 30 shots. No pressure. No pressure about when. And he the alpha on the team. So yeah, he don't at this point in his life, he don't want to go and try to have that pressure and win a championship. He got his championship at this spot. He want to be with the Wizards and get all the money he can get because they just give boatloads of money to average players anyway. So I wouldn't want to leave if I was him. It ain't about my legacy. If I'm Kuzma, what I'm trying to win chips for? I got one. I get my money.
And he probably living his best life in the city right now. He probably,
Exactly.
there's some new restaurants opening. He's out here dealing with the politicians. He's out here being able to, mingle around. Kuz probably out in the streets living his best life in DC.
Man, I'm with him on that. Like I don't know, man. At this point in time in career, and especially you can go somewhere like Dallas, and that put them in a better situation because he is getting 20 plus a game. Kuz could help them because he can score. So that means they could challenge really heavy for the West. In the West, what's important to you? What's important to you right now?
He don't option. He want to still get his 20. He ain't gonna get 20.
I think when it comes, I still think he can get 20 because you can't. When it gets down to the playoffs and people start making adjustments, Kuz could be that third scorer that they really need on a nightly basis to get them over the hump. You see what I'm saying? So I do think it would have been beneficial for Dallas, for him to go to Dallas. But I mean, at this point, he's like, look, pay me my money. I already got a championship ring. I'm gonna sit here and just make all the money I can and keep it moving. So I mean, it's all about what's important to you.
And
he's not trying to win. He's gonna tend with his money in the shot. That's all they were. That's all it is.
So, it is what it is.
I just think
he want to continue up a game.
I just think it's funny, man. He was like, "Nope, I ain't going to Dallas. I'd rather stay in DC." And continues to keep losing. But I'm all right, man. Listen, I'm chilling. I'm content. I'm in the city. I'm doing my thizzle. We stink, but I ain't going nowhere.
I ain't going nowhere.
I heard.
Hey, man, before we close out, man, let's give it up to Ray. Give me a round of applause right quick for this one. Man, listen, Caitlin Clark just broke the NCAA scoring record. She's on a pace to break the NCAA overall scoring record, male or female, but she just broke the female scoring record the other day. She closed it. She closed the record out with one of the most logo threes, one of the best way to do it. Ray, start us off, man. What's your thoughts? Is she the greatest women's player of all time?
Man, like I said, breaking Kelsey's plum record. Shouts out to Caitlin Clark and Iowa, Hawkeyes. She's box office, no doubt about it. Great shot. She come off the dribble. She can give you every move. But the greatest of all time, no. I've seen them. I've seen better. I've seen Cheryl Swoops. I done seen Shamika Holdsclaw. I done seen Asia Wilson. The list go on and on. But she's definitely top 10 in my book of all-time players. But she is box office, though. But I wouldn't give her the greatest of all time.
Go ahead, Key.
Yeah, definitely a great accomplishment, man. The girl can shoot the ball, the lights out, can't wait on the next level. The jump shot in the hand. But I'm with Ray. The greatest all time. There's just been too many women that can do. I saw that can do a little bit more to me. And it's my greatest all time, probably the white girl, man, a Russian girl, whatever her name.
Razi.
Yeah. Taraji was a dog. He was a dog.
And she won. You know what I'm saying? She won chips.
And she was winning chips. All right, to me, she's up there.
Let's give context. She was also on better teams.
Yeah, true. But
yes, she was.
She was, but then
Anna Ross was on better teams. Hold on.
Don't I'm about to say what I'm about to say.
Hold up, Diamond, before you go. Like Charles Barkley say, she was the driver.
I didn't say she wasn't, but I'm saying she was on a lot better teams than Caitlin Clark is.
Yeah, but she was driving the bus. And I seen her what she do in the league, like WNBA.
I think it's more of a greatest of all times women's, not college wise, not necessarily pros just yet, because she's not in WNBA.
But I'm talking about college wise. I'm just saying I done seen her because she old. I done seen it translated. She did it in college. Like Ray say, her and Cheryl Swoop and them two to me. Oh, Maya Moore.
Yeah.
I mean, you really leaving out them, but I mean, you should. Parker should be in there. She could be in there because she thought she won 4 championships in a row at Tennessee, and she won as a freshman.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like, hey,
yo,
He
so
was a dog.
it's
she
so
was,
many. That's why I said I can't get her player all, but to me, my
and
favorite,
Shamika Holesclaw.
yeah,
When she was at Tennessee. She was absolutely killer.
and the girl at not New Orleans and LSU, the one had the dress.
On Augustus.
Yeah, Augustus. It's just saying, it had been some dog. Augustus was a dog.
She wasn't no greatest player of all time, bro.
She was cold, dog.
It was cold.
She was good. I know you're talking about.
No,
She was good, but she wasn't the greatest player of all time.
She's in that top 10 rim college basketball players all time. You got to put a.
We didn't say that. She said who's the greatest
That's
women's
too many,
college
bro.
basketball.
That's in it. But if you had to go with me, I had to go with old girl. I got to go with the Russian chick.
Diana, I don't know if she's Russian, bro. You may want to start saying
American.
that. I think that makes her Polish. I don't think that makes her.
I don't
Polish
think
American.
I don't think she's
Russian. I don't think she's Russian.
She said
bro.
she Russian.
You may want to look that up though. Keep calling her Russian is a little bit disrespectful. That's why like something that you may not even know what she is.
Okay, whatever. Well, what name? How you pronounce her name?
It's Diana Taurasi.
Taurasi. What's the last
Yeah.
name? Taurasi. Diana Taurasi.
Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, that's what I gotta go with. But your time, Don.
I don't see. This is the thing that getting to that. If we're gonna say that she broke the record, but the NCAA didn't bring over the women's, stats and all that.
Yeah, to 1982.
Yeah, and if they'd have brought she still haven't broken the record.
Yeah, the girl.
Because the Lynette Woodard.
But it's at University of Kansas.
But it's another lady that they're not even talking about. She went to Francis Marion College, but it wasn't a D1 school. Her name is Pearl Moore, and she scored 4,061 points.
But I think it's a D1 record. I don't think it's a D2 record.
So if you want to say it's a D1 record, then she scored 4,061. So she really got a long way to go to catch her. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
but it's a D1 record. If you play a Francis Marion, that's not D1.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like D1 AA or NAI. But I'm just saying, if we're going to say if you got the overall college record, if we're saying college record, period, whether it's D1, D2, D3, or D4,
I don't think you can specify that is overall because they only list like even when they say she's close to she's like next close to Pistol Pete. If she's close to Pistol Pete, then that means that they're doing D1 and not doing overall.
So that's okay. If that's the case, she's still behind Lynette Woodard.
Yeah, but I mean they didn't start taking the 1982.
That's why I don't like. That's why I don't like.
Actually, 4-time All-American. She was,
and this
came out coming averaging 28, 27.
And that's what I'm saying. This would have pressed me more. She did that scoring twos when they didn't have threes.
Yeah, they didn't have a 3-point line at that time. I don't think they weren't using it like that.
But don't get me wrong. Caitlin Clark is a shooter. Like she's box office. You know what I'm saying? She's a great scorer. But like y'all always say, if you ain't winning chips, I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. If you ain't winning chips, like y'all tell me all the time, if you ain't winning chips, I don't care how box office you are, and you bringing money into the NCAA and you getting all the highlights, but if you ain't winning no chips, it don't mean nothing to me. It don't mean nothing. And I think, cool, she got the record. That's okay. That's a great accomplishment, accolades for her. But can you will your team in the NCAA playoff and win that ship? Now, if she win that ship this year, she won't be the greatest player, but she'll be above some of the players who didn't win championships that are top 10. That'll put her more like in the top 5. If she can win the championship this year as to getting the scoring record, that'll put in the top 5 players all the time.
Top 5?
No, because if you look at their team, bro, you done broke the record. Their team is not great.
Their team ain't trash.
But this is the thing. She is the vocal point.
Just went to the Final Four last year, dog.
You take her off that team don't make it out of the first round of the playoffs in the NCAA.
This boy said
top
top 5. They want to chip.
I will. That's true.
In the top 5, the top 10.
That's a true statement. I agree with that. They're not Howard's not a good team, bro. I mean, I say they're not a good team. They're not a NCAA championship team without her. She's literally talking about driving the bus. She is the bus. She pays for it. She gasses up and she drives it. And she owns the actual transportation service. She is all the above for that team. Let's not act like she ain't.
You take every best player off a team, they not gonna win.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
No, I'm talking about a player who's getting responsible for 50%, 40% of your points or assists.
But I mean that's not necessary because I think Cardozo just didn't play the last 2 games for South Carolina.
But
they still won. They blew out UConn without her.
Those ain't no impact player like that where they gonna miss her.
Well, they are. I mean, she is an impact player for their team. She
But
doesn't have to score 30 points and have 20 rebounds to be impact, but she's an impact player for their team.
No,
Because if you look at it when they play LSU, she didn't play well in the first half. They were losing. She played better in the second half. They beat them. It's just that simple.
But I'm just saying she's a nice piece to the puzzle. She ain't the puzzle. I'm talking about when you take the puzzle from the team, like if you take Angel Reese off LSU, no, you're not going to a Final Four. I'm talking about players like that impact.
But I think LSU could still win without Angel Reese.
No.
I think they can. They can. Matter of fact, they did. They won 2 or 3 games without her. They can win without Angel Reese.
They're not getting to the Final Four without her.
They can because they still got a lot of talent on their team. They still got the Flo Joe chick. The chick they brought in, number 24, she was a transfer. She was a player of the year in her league. And then they got the kid from Louisville. She was a player of the year out of her league. So they have talent on their team. They can still win without Angel Reese, but they can't win without Caitlin Clark. That is not. If she don't play well, if she don't dominate, they don't win. That showed in the championship game last year. They played LSU. She didn't play great. They lost. It was just that simple. It wasn't nothing else to talk about. She didn't play great. They lost.
But we arguing against 2 different things. We know that. I'm just saying players like her, Angel Reese, whoever you got over there dominate, or the girl from USC, people who responsible for 50% of your offense. Yes, you're not going out with them. Like Angel Reese is responsible probably for 50% of LSU offense. When you talk about
she ain't. Like, no, she ain't. In what capacity?
But I'm talking about offensive rebound, second chance. That you got to count those. You know what I'm saying? That's giving you opportunity to score again when you're getting 14, 15 rebound with 20-some points. You just ain't talking about scoring. I'm talking about impact.
But that's what then what I just said to you even makes even more sense because I just told you that South Carolina won without Cardozo, and she's an impact player for them. She offers a rebound, she defends, she clogs the lane up, she blocks shots, and she rebounds. But therefore, she is a impact player for them. So when she don't play well, they don't play well.
No,
it's that simple.
I'm just saying she's not like you're going into playing South Carolina like as our game plan is to stop her. Like nobody is losing sleep over her at night. Nobody.
That's a lie because you told us. You said it that they're gonna get killed with the pick and roll because she can't move her feet, and therefore that means you know you watching them and you're scouting that team. That means you're gonna put her in the position where she can't defend. You said that. No. You said that. You're like, man, they're gonna get killed in that pick and roll because she can't move her feet. Therefore, why in the world? That means that she's a weak link. That's a weakness of theirs. They're gonna attack her because she's a strength on their team. So like, why would they not? Why does that? Why would you not say I'm gonna go after you? Gonna game plan for her? You are gonna game plan for her.
Planning for her to stop her on offense. That's what I'm saying. Nobody's game planning to stop her to slow her down on offense. Nobody.
She averaged between 15 to 18 points a game. What are you talking about?
15. Nobody's game planning to stop her 15.
How many points do you think Angel Reese score a game?
18.
About 18.
So then what's the difference?
But
Angel scored 3 more points.
But you're game planning to stop Angel. We can't let us kill us with second chance opportunity. You know,
that's the same thing with Cardozo. You do the same thing. Well, if that's the case, why the Angel Reese? Why when Angel Reese got a fifth foul? Why she try to grab and pull it down? She clearly was trying to keep her from getting the ball, which means she knows it's a problem defending her and rebounding.
If I'm falling, I'm gonna reach back and try to hold on.
Now you do that when you know you can't get the ball because you're having a problem keeping her from the basket. That's what you do. You do that when you know like, she can stop you. She can't stop her. So she's having a problem. She's like, you know what? I gotta reach and pull her down so she don't get this offensive rebound. That's the whole point of it.
Cardozo and Angel Reese the same player.
No, they literally literally the same thing. You try to make it seem like
from a standpoint. No. Listen what I'm saying. They're not even the same. Hold on. Angel Reese got better feet than Cardozo. I agree with you on that. But as far as what they mean to their team, they're the same player.
Impact, bro.
It's the same impact. It's no difference than 18 and 15 points. But 3 points a game, it ain't no difference. They do the same thing. They clog the middle. Neither one of them have a great jump shot. Neither one of them. They feed off what comes up, rebounds and putbacks and second chance points. They're the same player.
Let Angel Reese don't play in the tournament, and let Cardozo don't play in the tournament. I bet you the money South Carolina still winning LSU.
No, you know why they won't? They won't win the championship. You know why? This is why they won't win the championship.
I ain't saying championship. I'm just saying
they don't want to make the Final Four.
That's the point. You just but you can't say a game or two. Anybody can say a game or two.
Wait, I don't think Carolina will make the Final Four. This is why. Now they go small. Now they small.
They still got two other bigs.
No, but I'm saying they don't do the same thing as what Cardozo do when it comes to getting on the floor, getting all the rebounds. They do the same thing of getting them down. You take Cardozo out, and that white girl that they got right now that play in the middle. If she fouls out in the tournament, they done. They are small. The only they just shoot better this year. That's all.
Here's another thing. If you put LSU top starting five against South starting five, who is better? Who is better? Nah, you lying, bro. You just watched them beat. You just watched LSU lose to, and that's why you're saying that. Because it's clear to me that LSU has a better starting five than South Carolina. That's why. Why do you think? Why? No. Let me finish. Why do you think Don said he subs so much? She knows her bench is street. They average 34 points a game.
No, I agree.
Averaging 34 points a game. That's the reason why she subs.
LSU got
to her bench early.
LSU got the better starting five.
Thank you.
Not deep. They don't have no bench.
They have no bench, but LSU starting five is way better. They got three players on there who was player of the years.
I wouldn't say
Andrews was player of the year. Ashley was player of the year. The other girl, what's the other girl name?
Van Leaf.
Van let her. She was player of the year out of ACC. The other girl from they brought number 24. She was player of the year. And then Keith talked about the freshman, the number 2 freshman in the nation. Like, come on, what else? Like, what does South Carolina have more than that?
They starting five is better. What LSU problem is they don't have no depth.
You're right. I'm just saying. I'm agreeing with you on that.
Yeah. And I think when they kick the girl off the team, that put them in jeopardy too. That put them in a bigger hole. Yeah, that put them in a hole.
The other big girl tore ACL.
Yeah, so you got 2 people going off the team. That cuts your depth and that cuts your rotation of what you. And I think that is the problem with LSU now. You got a girl with a torn ACL. You got one that you done kicked off the team. So those are 2 key pieces where you can sub in and probably get you 15 to 20 points between the both of them to help get you over the hump. But at the end of the day, Cardozo and Angel Reese got better footwork. Don't give me. She got better foot. Cardozo is slow.
Dog. I think better than that girl, bro.
And she might be better talent.
I will say
she's the better talent. She's the better talent.
Nobody was debating. Debated.
She's the better talent.
Nobody debated on who was the better talent. The debate was how important they are to their teams. And I clearly stated the same thing I'm saying now. They both are basically the same type of player when it comes to importance to their teams. Now, back to the original question was about, is Caitlin Clark the greatest women's player of all time? I would say no. I would say she's not the greatest women's of all time, because the problem you're going to have with Caitlin Clark is Juju is going to come right behind her. And Juju's averaging 27 a game. And I was trying to explain that to people, like, that was probably what you're going to see the problem. Like that, she's a freshman. She's about to come right behind her. Like that's the issue you're going to see. Like, and she's going to come in. She may not stay there 4 years. She may be there 3 years. But the fact that she's having the impact she's having at USC, and I think she's having I think Caitlin Clark averaged 26 a game when she got to Iowa. I think even then, I don't know if she's had the impact on her team success that Juju's having for USC this year. That's the reason why. So it's like, yeah, you're probably gonna be saying this about another player next year when Juju is actually it's gonna be a sophomore. So it's kind of like she's tremendous. She's probably been the most impactful player that's ever been that's been women's basketball. She's been the most impactful in women's basketball because I think of the attention she gathers. I mean, you can't take away from the fact that she gets a lot of people in the stands. That you can't take away from that. She gets a lot of people in the stands. All her games are sold out. She's must-see TV. She's probably, in the history of women's basketball, she's been the most impactful ever. Like ever across all boards, across all genres. Even when UConn was making their runs, when Tennessee was making their runs, you can name great players, but it was always about Tennessee. It was always about UConn. It was always about those great teams. This right here, you just watching about her. You know, like Iowa's Iowa, whatever the heck. A lot of people don't probably know what Iowa is. As far as in the University of Iowa, people don't even know where it's at. But the fact that because of her talent, man, she's making people watch the games. I watch her just because I'm infatuated with watching her play. I don't think about Iowa. I don't think about none of that stuff. But you're more. She's probably the most impactful player ever in women's basketball. She's been the most impactful. But yeah, she's not the greatest. I can't say that. I can't firmly say that. Like I said, Juju's gonna be coming right behind her, and when she comes, we gonna say the same thing about her.
And she coming fast.
Yeah,
she coming up the real fast.
So we gonna say the same thing about her. Like, you see Juju play, and you're gonna forget about Caitlin Clark because Juju's gonna be busting tail, and everybody gonna be amazed by it. And I think it's kind of like you can't really put that on there because I think they were saying, what's the girl name for UConn? At one time, her freshman year, Becky Hammond. It's Heyman, right?
Yeah.
They thought the same thing about her. She was gonna be one of the greatest to ever play.
Oh, not Becky.
Becker's.
Paige Beckers.
Yeah, Paige Beckers. I think they were saying the same thing about her at one point. When she was a freshman, they were like, man, she's gonna be incredible. She's gonna be this. And then the injuries happen. So yeah, Caitlin Clark she's the most impactful player women's basketball player ever to play. Like, she's definitely impactful. Like, hey, it ain't close. It ain't close as far as who goes to the games, like what they want to see, how everybody's excited to watch her play. Man, she has been absolutely the most impactful player I've ever seen. And maybe across both college basketball in general. I'm sitting there thinking about it from a men's standpoint. It's always got. I can't name a man player that I think has taken a sport in a chokehold like this. Like, I'm trying to think, like, throughout the history of men's basketball, have you ever seen a player like that took over that everybody's like mesmerized by? And she's impactful, man. She's actually been there. So yeah, but greatest, no.
Nah.
Like I said, now you got that young girl coming right behind her. So like I said, we're gonna be saying the same thing about her in a year or two. She keeps putting up 50-point games.
And it seemed like for her, as being her freshman year, it seemed like the game is so easy for her. It's like she went out the game last night and then came back and then put it on them in the second half. And it's like man, like this. I mean, a freshman, ever since she stepped on the floor at USC, because like when she went to USC, I bet a lot of people like, you going to USC? But then now she's there and she's elevated her teammates to another level. Ever since she stepped on that floor, she's elevated her teammates. And like you said, to see her play and to see how she just she do it all. She bring the ball to the court. She gets everybody involved, and she's still putting up 30+ points with getting everybody else involved. So, like you say, yeah, Caitlin on a high right now, but Juju is coming right behind her.
I think that's what people don't realize. And I've been stating that, like, that's the thing. People just don't realize that she's coming right behind her. So when Caitlin Clark's going in the WNBA, and hopefully it translates the same thing for her, what she's doing here, which I think it will. When you have Juju gonna be right there putting up numbers, everybody gonna be mesmerized by her too. And she's gonna go to the WNBA. She's gonna put up numbers there too. So it's just hopefully. I mean, I just like to see women's sports take this next level, and I'm glad they got these ladies athletes that are taking that ring, and now they're gonna take it to the next level because they can handle the ball, they can shoot from anywhere. Now, Caitlin, whoo, Lord, that girl, Lord have mercy, like she shoot that thing from anywhere. And she got no conscience.
Zero.
As she pulled up that shot, she broke the record. She was like, I think she jumped and then she kind of jumped sideways. So I was like, hey, did she just jump like that? Yeah, she cold, bro.
And she was taking that shot. When she got that ball at the court, it was like, man, get out the way. Y'all get out the way. Let me go and shoot this thing and get it over with. She was confident. She was confident.
49 and have a career high, that's dope. But like I said, that's 49. She still ain't, and Juju hit 51. This tournament gonna be good. It's gonna be a real good tournament this year. A real good tournament right here. Hey, Key, man, you see Don. You said Don can't coach, man. When we get up out of here, man, I want you to hear. You keep saying Don can't coach. You're on mute, though. You're on mute.
He's still on mute.
I say we'll see what adjustments she make when it's money time.
When
She made the adjustment to beat LSU. What are you talking about?
I say when it's money time.
Okay.
She won
The
42
adjustment
games.
was the BLSU. Angel Reese fouled out. That was the adjustment.
They
Angel
were
Reese
beating
fouled
them.
out.
They were beating them for injuries fouled out.
No, they wasn't.
They was winning.
No, they wasn't.
Yes, they was winning.
No, they wasn't.
They was winning.
They wasn't winning when Angel
now
Reese
they
fouled
got-
out.
nah.
They
Now
was
it's
up by
gotta
6
be-
points.
Do you really think who?
They was up. LSU was up by 6 points when Angel Reese fell out.
No, it was not, dog.
Bro,
No,
you got internet, like Ryan said. You got.
I watched the
internet.
game. I don't need the hell internet. I watched the game.
I watched the game too. When Angel
Angel
Reese
Reese,
fouled out,
They were
LSU
not
was
up
up.
to 6 points when Angel Reese was in the game, bro. Angel Reese, I think they had like a 2-point lead at that time.
No, they was
Yes,
up by
they
6.
Yes, they did, bro.
And
Yes, they
every
did,
time,
bro.
every time Angel Reese went to the bench and foul trouble, that's when South Carolina made a run. Every time.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is true.
That's not true. Because at one point, LSU was up 13. And then
Angel Reese got in foul trouble and went to the bench.
They came back
And then
cut
LSU
it.
went back.
Shot. Before the half ended, old girl shot that 3.
Okay.
That 3 and cut the game. I think she cut it into 3 or 6.
And
at that point, they stayed within 6 points the entire game.
Right. And every time Angel Reese was on the floor, LSU was up. Let's put it that way.
Do you think they're gonna win the game?
Yeah, if Angel Reese don't fall out, yes. If Angel Reese don't fall out, yes.
So do you think that her fouling out is the reason why they lost?
Yes, of course.
Really? Do you think so?
Yeah, I do.
So LSU was leading 67-65.
Thank you.
Okay, they up. They up.
You
They
think
up.
that?
They up.
But Key, to the point that we were talking about early, why did Angel Reese foul out?
Man, that happens, man. Come on, man. Why do anybody fall out? It happens. It's basketball.
Because old girl was keeping off the ball.
I wasn't keeping all the boys. She made one dumbass foul was on. 2 was on old girl. If she don't turn the ball over, she going back and instead of playing smart and giving up the layup instead of challenging. That's another foul. Then she get another foul. What's the girl? Van Leek made a guy 2 dumbass fouls, but making dumbass plays.
So it was what's her name? Haley. It was Haley's fault that she ended up throwing. Now the pass was late, but it was Haley's fault that your girl tried to jump over the other girl and knock her down to get to the ball. That was her fault.
No, I'm not.
No, that was a foul. That's one of her fouls.
Man, at the end of the day, we'll see what your girls do when it's money time.
It is the money time. She won 42 straight regular season games.
We'll see
She
if
won
she go
42
and be out at a tournament again. We'll see. Or can she close the undefeated year? That's all we'll see.
What do you mean close the whole undefeated year? What do you mean? She won 42 regular season games in a row.
We'll see Duke, South Carolina go get the ring. That's all we'll see.
Like, what does the ring got to do with LSU can't beat them?
Man, I don't care. You know what? LSU can lose to them all year. And if they go post that fucking instant, who gives a fuck?
It matters to LSU. It shouldn't.
Because at the end of the day, we don't hang banners to beat South Carolina. We hang banners to
win. Yes, you do. Because you said this season gonna be different. Yeah. We gonna beat them. That's what you said. You said.
Well, like I said, we had a little bumps in the road. Our big girl got hurt. We kicked the girl off the team. Our depth is the issue right now. We only playing.
How many starters did you bring back last year?
We only playing.
How many starters did you bring back last year?
How many starters we brought back?
Mm-hmm.
We brought
who?
2 starters. The third one got kicked off the team. We brought back 2.
Oh no, the season start. You had 3 starters that came back last year.
Yeah, we had 3.
She had 1.
Okay, but what I'm saying is,
explain to me what's the difference? Why do you lose to that team?
The difference is we don't have depth. That's the difference. The games we're lost, either foul trouble or you don't have depth. You know what I'm saying? You can't win with 6 players, and that's on.
You said one thing. You said depth reason. The next reason you can't guard nobody. Y'all can't guard guards.
Oh yeah, we can't. But I'm saying we will have another big person with a girl. Poole was a great defender, the one that kicked off the team. She was our best defender last year. On her and the girl with the little, she can move her feet. The Haley girl can't guard nobody. Farjay can guard. We only got 1 guard that can play guard on the perimeter.
Number 12 can't guard nobody either. Don't leave out the freshman. She can't guard nobody either.
She's not a great defender either. But that's what I'm saying. That's when Poole and Farjay would have came into effect. So, but the thing is not LSU it's they get wore out. If you can't get in foul trouble, you get in foul trouble, you're done. We done. We playing 6 players, 6. Not even a full 7. That's the difference in this team. Only difference.
Hey, we'll leave out on that excuse.
Ain't no
Let's
excuse.
give our final thoughts. We got Ray. Start us off on our final thoughts, please, sir.
Man, great, impactful commentary about women's basketball, man. We love it. It just shows the diversity of the sports game. Another one.
Man, great show today. Yeah, I think the women's game need to get more, people need to get more to the game as to just worrying about the men's game. I think the women's game has proven that they have a lot of great talent in the women's league. And I think, like you said, the tournament play is going to be real good.
Yeah, another great episode. It's coming at a good time of the year when, NFL have gone, but, the second half of the season for the NBA about to separate the pretenders for the contenders, about to have March Madness. I actually want to see a lot out of the boys, the men. Well, I won't say the college men tournament, because I was disappointed last year. Hopefully, we already know the women tournament is going to be lit. What we gonna get from the NCAA men this year? Because last year it was just, man, I didn't even tune in, man. Like, I don't know what they got to do to make the men's college basketball back attractive. Because people, like we said, we're sitting and talking about women, which is a good thing. We're not saying it, but we got to do something about college men basketball. Bro.
I think the men's tournament gonna be good this year because you don't really have no real dominant team out there. Because nobody expects
you need a dominant team.
Nobody expect UConn to win last year.
That's the problem.
You're right.
You need a dominant team. That's the issue. You need a dominant team.
That's why we're talking about women, because we're talking about big names.
Yeah.
That's why we're making women compellable now. You got about 4, 5, 6 players that you can talk about in college in women basketball.
But guess what? We'll go ahead and win back-to-back this year, and we give y'all something to talk about.
We still ain't gonna talk about y'all.
We're gonna go ahead and win back-to-back championships this year. We'll go ahead and win back-to-back championships this year. It'll be all right. We get it back. I'm gonna call good old Danny Hurley. We just punished Marquette earlier. Oh, but on a serious note, Lefty Giselle died today.
Who is Lefty. The college men basketball right now?
Huh?
Nobody.
Who is Lefty Giselle? That's a veteran.
Maryland.
The coach from Maryland.
Yeah,
Coach Lynn Byers and all that.
Cousin or something. Like I supposed to know who that is.
It just came across the joint that Lefty Giselle died today.
A big name.
Oh, but I was saying, who is
before your time, Jane? You were still in diapers, That was the Lynn Byers.
That ain't like John Thompson. They ain't like John Thompson. Somebody, man. I don't know who that is. Lefty Giselle. That sounds like somebody that a bookie.
Yeah, he's the coach at Maryland, man. One of the big coaches at Maryland.
He was like,
all right, man.
But before we go, right? Like who can they promote for going into the tournament as college men's basketball? You have nobody. You're promoting March Madness. You have.
You're right, bro. You definitely need one of those teams. You need one of those in college. You need one. You're right. I mean, you're right. I mean, nobody's disagreeing that. You need a villain or something of that nature. It always made sports. UNLV made you want to watch it because of how good they were. You need somebody on the crest of things. You remember the last team I can only remember that, you looked at it, you said, man, like, I wonder what's going to, how they going to work was when Kentucky was undefeated or when Duke had Zion in them. That's like, you need that. Like, you need it. You need that in the college basketball. It makes you want to watch.
That was the last time where people, you was watching the hate on Duke not getting it when Zion and them all was there.
Yeah. You need somebody to root against or root for.
Yeah, that was the last big names we done had in college basketball, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been absolutely tough. He's right. It's been brutal. So I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you. They need a star-studded team, and they just haven't had it.
Oh, a star-studded player. You can, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, that, nobody separating themselves. Everybody's just okay. It's a good player. You ain't got.
Yeah.
You hadn't had a generation talent came through the college basketball in a minute. Probably since Zion now.
Yep.
Yeah, I think probably Zion and
John Morant. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it hasn't had it. You haven't, and that's
Yeah.
why you haven't really been into the tournament. You haven't been into war. You've been ain't looking forward to it.
Yep.
Got a good point, man. Good job. Good job right there. That was a good point. You're right on the money on that one. They definitely need somebody. They need marquee.
Tune
There's no
into
marquee.
women's basketball.
Yeah, that's why people they have marquee players doing a better job promoting their players too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, but that's it.
All right, man. D, your final thoughts we got here?
Hey, man, I'm good. You know, I'm good. Great show. You know, I'm glad to be back in the building again, and let's keep this thing moving.
Yep. All right, get us out of here, man. Close out.
Yep.
Talking about what we talking about. I can do this all day. What we talking about? What we talking about? What we talking about? I ain't feeling what